Hey guys, I'm just gonna make a really quick tutorial on how to use CoinAnk FootPrint. It's a really good sort of depth of market tool where you can basically, well, I'll show you how to use depth of market too as well. But it's like a depth of market tool where you can see the orders behind the actual candles. As you can see, there's numbers behind these because you can see where and what type of orders are coming in. So before we do that, let's get your chart set up. So over here you have indicators and you have all these. Just copy what it says here. Just copy it and turn all that on. So you also want to copy all my other settings right here. You just pause the video for that. Okay, so for footprint, this is all of your options. There's only two that I ever use. Now you can use it on any time frame, but the best time frame I find it to be is on 5 minute. My favorite is the 15 and the 1 hour as well. So these are the most that I use. You can use it on any time frame. So these green and red bars are what footprint is. It's going to show you per candle the average. So if a new candle comes in and a bunch of orders come in, let's just say up here, it's going to show a big amount. And then if a bunch of orders come in down here, this amount is going to lower down because the average is being changed for this candle and more orders are coming in down here. So it's per candle. I believe on EXO, I could be wrong, I believe on EXO charts, it's more of an average uh, for multiple candles, and I could be wrong on that. But for here, that's how it works. So to zoom in, you could just simply zoom in, but it's kind of hard to really get a good idea of what's going on. So what I do is I zoom it in just enough to where I can kind of see the bars, and so I can see where clusters of orders may be. So I see there's clusters of orders right here, and I go over and hover over to it. Now in the middle of the box that pops up, right, well, I can't really put my mouse over it, but in that middle of the box that pops up is where my mouse is hovering over. So there's 100, 25, 100, 100. So what you want to do, these numbers mean nothing if you don't compare them. So you want to compare what the averages of numbers are so you know if this is a big amount or not. You also have to look at the clusters around it because it might only say 125 was the most transacted here, but right above is 100, right above that is another 100. So there's this big cluster, and you almost want to add it up in a sense in your head. So there's about 500 in that little range right there. 500. But in general, I do like to see the quick, the what the most amount is. So I do look and see like, okay, 291, just to get the idea of like averages, right? So 291, 170, 1203, 169. So it seems like the average when it actually a climactic move comes into play is around 100 to 150. So I know that if we're in this candle right here, for example, and we're getting all these like ones and 20s, and nothing is really telling me that this is going to stop. Like usually you want to see some big orders coming in before you say this is going to stop, right? So you get that big amount of sells coming in. It might not be enough, so it's 174 for the volatility at that time. You would expect big orders to come in, so maybe that wasn't, a lot. Comes down a little bit more. You see very clearly a mass amount of people selling on the volume weighted average price. That's one of the things. I don't think it actually has it here listed, but turn the VWAP on and you'll get these lines. The pink is the middle, that's the VWAP. Those are the upper and lower bands of the VWAP. So a bunch of different indications showed us like for example we were holding above Asians the previous Asian sessions high, So we were holding above that, wicking into it, because this is where it was. Okay, we were wicking into it, and then we were coming right back up and moving up. And you take that logic and you say, okay, we have big volume coming in, big moves up, big moves down. At this point right here, you can say, well, you can at least say that there's big amounts of people who just shorted right here. You'd want to come back into that. So how do you know that's gonna happen? How do you know it's slowing down, etc., etc.? Let's go down to the 15-minute time frame and just analyze that move right there. So up here we had 249 and then a big move down. So this basically indicated that if I saw this at that very moment, we were in that move down. You would look to the left, you would see vector candles likely. Let's see if those are vectors. Okay, right here. They were. So vector is 200% the previous 10 candles in volume. So these colored candles, now if it's a blue or pink, it's 150. That's all you really need to know. So if it goes up or down, that's depending on what the color is going to be. Obviously, down is red, up is green. Down pink, up blue. So just focus on the percentages. Green and red, 200% volume of the previous 10 candles. So this shows you big orders are transacting, big money is transacting. We like to call that like the markup candles. And then you end up coming back into and seeing how it tests these candles. So for example, we didn't hold the 50 of this. We didn't hold the 50 of the move either. We just came straight down. So in the formation of a vector candle, this is what you're seeing. You are basically seeing the orders behind it. Now, if you come over to this one, ask bid profile, and you can get another idea. This is more of an exochart style. You can get more of an idea on what's happening on both sides. So, for example, there's just so many people selling compared to the buys, and you would assume that's a opportunity to come back, and that's a you got to reclaim that. I forget what imbalance. Brain's going blank. You got to come back and fix those imbalances because there's too many people selling up here with no buys. So they know if they're good to get people selling here, and by the way, the green means sell, the red means buy. Flip the colors because it just helps you change your psychology. So if a lot of people are selling right here and not enough people are buying, think of it as a store. If you're going in there and a ton of things are being sold but no one's buying, there's not a healthy business being, transacted. You have to have buyers for the sellers. You have to have sellers for the buyers. So comes back up. As you can see, it's a lot more even now. We're kind of staying in this area, staying in this range. And as we're coming up, you have more of an even amount of buyers to the sellers. I would say even the buyers are winning. You come over to the profile delta, it's basically who's winning instead of seeing both sides, the green and the red. Boom, the red's winning. So as we just said, the sellers or the buyers are coming in. They're winning. They're stepping up. 265 was a massive amount comparatively because we were talking about the averages. So you know something's happening here. Some big players might be stepping in looking to get their orders filled, and where could they be filling? Well, we know there's a lot of people selling up here. Could we bring it up to that point to sell, or could we even bring it up anywhere near that point because we see there's a lot of selling going on around here, but it's mostly condensed in this area, and generally we came straight to it, came right back to it. So you're basically looking for the buying and selling that's going on at the bottom or the top. So if you're in a big move up, you're going to as you're going up, you're going to start seeing this red coming in if you switch the colors, which you can switch the colors right here, go to the footprint, go to the um, little cog wheel right here. Scroll down and just copy these settings. These two are flipped. Okay, now you're gonna see what I see. So as you can see, there's a bunch of people buying, and then once you get at the top of the range, at the very top, and the Brinks box, by the way, this is when the Brinks box closed, this candle, this is when it closed, or it opened anew, and it closed. It aggressively came into the end of the Brinks, which was 10 a.m. EST, New York time, and then aggressively came back. So if you were seeing this, you know how the Brinks, if you know how the Brinks works, if you're seeing this going aggressively into the end of the Brinks, stocks are pulling back, crypto's getting massive amounts of sells coming in at the top, that could basically tell you that this is going to be a point where they're selling because there's a mass amount of orders coming in. Look, 180, 164, 135, 132, 103, all in this one little area. Mass amount. People are getting trapped in orders up here. So then it just turns around from there. If you got in right here, because you're seeing a mass amount of people starting to sell, then it's starting to build up the buys, and you're starting to see them kind of break out from that range. You would say, okay, well, what I'm looking for is I'm gonna basically look for a bunch of sells coming in, so that and that would be at the top of the range. You want to see a manipulative move, and you also want to see confirmation. So this candle closed very weak. It went up, it tried, and it closed at the lows of the candle itself. Not only that, it had a mass amount of people starting to sell in this area right here. So we had actually two bouts of that, mass amounts of sells coming in at the very top of the chart after a very fast move up. You could see this right here. Very fast move up. Just nothing, nothing, nothing. Boom. Fast move is the false move, and you cannot be sitting through that. You have to pay yourself. That's why it turns around. And a lot of times nowadays, you're going to see these fast moves up, fast moves down, fast moves down, fast moves up. Even if it's going to continue the way it originally went, it reclaims. Look, fast move is the false move. Even if it's going that way, do not get trapped because it liquidates. It will always give you an opportunity to get in at a better price. It's always going to be moving. Don't rush yourself, right? Fast move is the false move. Does this look false? I mean, does this look fast? It's not. It's building up. This is healthy movement. And we might get a fast move down right here. Reclaims. Fast move's the false move. Look, fast move down. Reclaims. These are just imbalances in the orders, and this is why I use this. So basically, that's the gist of how this all works. To go more in detail, I just want to give you some strategies and some tips. So I look at this and I see 139 is being transacted in buys. 139 orders for the buys. They won. Okay. Again, this is the ask bid profile delta. It's only going to show you what won. You come over to the ask bid profile, you can see there's a bunch of people buying, not a ton of people selling. Almost half the amount of selling. So there's people trapped in buys. There's people trapped in longs up here. Come down. We know that there's an imbalance in the orders right here. And eventually you may end up making your way back up to it. Very close. Now, it's not going to be every single time that it comes directly to it, because when you look at the orders, when you click turn on large orders, you're going to see now basically depth of market. You're going to see the unfilled and filled orders. You could see that there might be something, happening around here. So 2 mil was transacted. It's pretty damn light, if I'm going to be honest with you. The orders seem to be light up here. And so that it's basically telling me that there might here. Let's turn the liquidation levels off just so you could see this better. So I mean, it's very light, the orders that are coming in. And that's basically telling me if it's very light up here, it might here. This looks better. It might have just been glitched. Hold on. There we go. 21 mil. 21 mil transacted right here. So they're picking up, still they're picking up Bitcoin. We have 17 million, 10 million, 6 million, 6 million, 2 million, and another 3. Now on the sell side, you have 6, 8, 2, 4, and another 6 right here. So it seems, oh, another 7 as well, and a 36 at the top. Now, it, I'm not really done. I want to get an idea of now what has been hit. So we have 9 million, 13 million. That's good. All the way at the top. That's good. So it looks like we're pretty liquid. 5 million, 16 million, another 16. Yeah, it looks like we're pretty liquid up here. They've been selling a lot up here. We don't have a ton of liquidations left above us, and also 36. It's not that much. A 10 right there and a 20. So the 20 is at like 69.2. 36 is at 68.3. Got a 10 at 69. 8 mil, 11 mil, 10 mil, big 30. Again, 22 mil was up here. Just because you get a 22 up here doesn't mean it's going to move up because they're looking for a profit on this order. That might be one of many orders. That could be one of 3. They get in. They could be getting in right here. They could be getting in right here and down here. So, just because you see a 22 million doesn't mean it's just gonna go up. So the big notable orders is 36 million right there. There's a big one too, is 30 million right here. We're more closer to the 36. Just take the measurement tool right here, and you gotta measure it a certain way. Only measure it like that, or it's gonna get messed up. Sometimes it still gets messed up. That's a lot. Going up to 70K, you have 250 million in ask orders. That's a lot. Do the same thing for below. 218 million. Try to get it in the same range. Yeah, so about 218 million in the same range. That's a lot of orders above us. And we haven't really hit, if you come over here, um, these right here can be found here. Throw that up, and you can see the shorts, the longs, aggregated open interest, aggregated liquidations, the taker slash buy sell volume. You can even throw up the volume if you want. I don't do that. I use this volume right here. It has vector candles on the volume. That's why I use it. It is called PVSRA volume on traders or trading view indicator search bar. And I think that's pretty much it. I mean, I'll try to. Oh yeah, yeah. So the trapped buyers, usually you would want to come back to these imbalances, and you're looking for orders in the chart to come back to. So a great way to study this is just pay attention to where orders are and watch how they react to those batches of orders. Notice comes down. There's a bunch of people selling right here. Comes up, bunch of people selling at the top. So the very bottom, bunch of people selling. The very top, bunch of people selling. The green. The very bottom, bunch of people selling. The green, because we flip the colors, remember. very bottom, a bunch of people selling at the very bottom, and it starts moving away. You just want to look and how at how it reacts. So when it starts to, for example, leave imbalances behind and you have a general idea that price can have the environment to move up, this is where you're going to be looking for entries per se. So we know that in this area we have people aggressively selling right here, but getting bought into, aggressively selling right here, getting bought into. So this area right here, same thing. This area right here seems even right here, there's a bunch of people selling but being aggressively bought into, and they've been moving it up. So this area might be holding. Not only that, you come over here and look what's there, a 22 million bid order. So this actually might, and look what's going on right here. You're getting bunch of people starting to sell. Let's go. Yeah, it's already in the 15-minute time frame. So we see people were selling right here at the very top. Not that, oh, well, selling, right? Selling at the very top. They had a sell order placed, but at the top you see there's 100 people buying, 100 orders for people buying. So they sold this order into them. And this might just be one of many orders, but we get the idea that they're still in the mood to sell. And what do they do when prices go up? They sell. So we're looking and we're seeing, okay, this might be support because of all the reasons, all the people selling in this area. We're seeing a bunch of people selling right now, and then you want to see that being followed with aggressive buys. So the red, you want to see aggressive buys in the red at the bottom. Okay, so not the complete bottom. Like I said, the cells need to be at the bottom, the green. Okay, and then it needs to be followed by, and sometimes it could be as well the buying, the red at the very bottom or the very top. It just depends on how the orders are coming in. If you see big amounts of money being transacted at a high or a low, for example, very obviously at the very low, if you saw this and the candle was right here, you would know that if it starts to turn around and it leaves this footprint right here, that a bunch of people at the very bottom started buying into what is it surrounded by? Sells. So in principle, they're both right. There's buying and selling, a lot of it at the very bottom. So you're looking for these to basically, turn price around. You get that, cool. You're looking for maybe like a you're trying to slowly get into a position. You're building your position. So you start with the first small entry. Maybe when it starts to leave that footprint and start to move away, you see all these buys coming in. This is really good. So look, 122, 120, 95, big amounts of buying coming in, 95, 75. So big amounts of money are coming in very quickly right after this dump. And you look to the left and you see a bunch of people were selling in this range. So you know they're good for sells. You then, if you wanted to load up as a whale, if you know they're good for sells, you purchase your Bitcoin in those areas. So 142 at the bottom starts to move up. If it moves too quickly down like it did, you would assume, like we were talking about, this is a building imbalance that you can exploit. So basically right here, like I said, selling pressure right here. We're in an area that they're selling. They're buying in this range into those sells. They're passively buying. What do we see? There's a little bit of selling coming in, and then they're just buying it right back up on this candle. It's very light though. I would wait. This could be fake. That's why you have to look at the numbers specifically to see if it's fake. We're only getting 15s, 16s, 18s. It's nothing much. It might just be something fake that's trying to fake you out a little bit. That's why looking at the size of the bar itself isn't always helpful. You got to look at the numbers behind it. So now you see 28 is coming in, and it's kind of holding this range, right? It's not even moving. That tells me that a bunch of orders are being transacted right here. A bunch of people are likely coming in, selling, buying, and we could see, look, turned right into the top is now people selling. We can see what's going on behind the orders, and I want to let this play out a little bit just so I can give you an example of how I look at it, um, you know, trading. And also it's 7:35 p.m. What is it? Asian session right now. It's nothing much. Asia opens in like 40 minutes or 25 minutes. So nothing really is happening, just Sydney, and we could just have some stop runs, just a bunch of nonsense until uh, Asia opens. Now, just saying, because Sydney is showing a sign of already dumping, and it's kind of like holding out, it's not really doing much. It's kind of like, and it's also opening. Where did New York open? Hold on. New York opened right here. Technically, it's opening above New York, I guess. But U.S. Brinks, it's not opening above U.S. Brinks, I would say. It's you really want to see how Asia opens. Is Tokyo gonna open below Sydney? Is it gonna hold this area right here, open below Sydney in the next 25 minutes, and then move down? And then is Hong Kong gonna open below Tokyo? Hong Kong is like an hour later. And if the sessions are slowly starting to close below each other, then maybe we'll get a move below the daily open and get a manipulative move and kind of balance ourselves out into this range, since a lot of people, like we talked about, have been selling in this range. Why wouldn't they come bring it back down if they wanted to get in at a discount and then just move it right back up? So what is today as well? Today's Wednesday. This could be the end of the movement up for the week. And because it's the end of the week, we get the Thursday's midweek reversal. This could be that point where we get the move up for the week and we start moving down. So let's mark off last night's Asian sessions because this is important. Started here and topped right there. Okay. Bottomed right here. So I'm marking the high and the low of the Asian session. I make that green. And then I turn the opacity really dark green. And so you should be doing this as well. Mark off the previous Asian session high and low. And so how are we holding up above it right now? Well, we went below it, started closing above, and started moving up. That's where we took some longs in this area, coming back into this area. And now we're kind of moving down into it again, closing red vectors below. Actually, it didn't even close below. Okay, closing red vectors above it, holding it very nicely still. So this is a good sign. We're on the 15-minute 50 EMA, holding it very nicely. Check out the 1 hour. Delete some of this. We do we do want to be prepared for possible movement down starting tomorrow, which is Thursday, because Thursday's the midweek reversal. Usually the way they like to do crypto is kind of like Forex. They move it up during the week and then start to offload that sentiment at the end of the week. So we have, let's see, we have some buyers coming in. Buyers are winning after getting some sells in this area. But again, I mean, is it really that much? I don't want to see just 143. I want to see a bunch of 50s and stuff around here. All right. So I can't stay here all day, but what you're basically looking for is how the orders are going to come in. If a bunch of sells come in around here and you're now seeing, like these orders, these bids, they're buying into those sells, you would assume if they're coming back into the idea of selling, because you see they're selling again, this sell order right here, and they have big buying coming in on the footprint, you would start building your entries. So let's just say 50 comes in, 50, 50, 50, and it starts actually moving up, I might say, okay, well, we might be leaving this range to come into these bids or these asks or maybe these asks up here. It's pretty light in this area, so maybe we are looking for price movements down. Um, because we have been making a move up all week, and we're coming into Thursday's midweek reversal, and we are now on Thursday's midweek reversal day candle. So just keep that in mind. So we're on the 1 day already. We could have peaked right here, and it kinda is looking like we maybe have peaked short term, possibly. There's just so much orders above us still in general. It is crazy when you do a little bit of a zoom out. So just be in and out. I wouldn't be getting in on spot up here. You would have to be crazy to do that. So if you're going to be day trading this, just be in and out. Just be very careful. I'll be honest with you, I think this is going to come down. I really do. And if it does come up, I think it's going to come down first. We might get one more move into this area. Rush, see how it reacts, and move. Because there's just too many people long right now. You got to remember that. The retail trader does not win. And they let him win sometimes just because he's down so bad. He's lost so much. He's still not winning. So these, I'm gonna do a whole separate video on all of these, but this is very in-depth video for the most part. It's it's really just depends on how the orders are coming in, and you're not looking for orders like this. You see, this is kind of like it's not at the top or bottom of a chart. This could indicate direction. It's moreover indicating direction, right? You're looking for things at the top and the bottom of climactic moves, orders coming in. That's what you're really looking for. To then say, okay, well maybe we got the climactic move, we did the business, we got people to buy at the highest point, literally right here. Let's sell into those people when we get a little bit more idea that they're actually using this range to sell. So you start seeing the sells building up, start seeing the sells building up, get a direction, you go short. Getting more sells, you're seeing they're holding these. You're seeing this big, big, big candle, just super fast move is the false move. Remember, just super fast, and you're getting the idea. Okay, well, a lot of orders are in this range. Let's reclaim them. There's a lot of people selling in this range right here. There's a lot of people selling. We could bring it back to this range. So what happens? Yes, it takes some time. It ends up coming right back to maybe where your entry was, but it eventually goes to that point. That's why we say pay yourself because you don't have to actually see it go to that very point. But I mean, if you wait, it's likely going to go to that point. It's just because of the orders. I mean, like leaving this behind in a sense. Why would they leave this behind? And then you start to see they're buying again at the top into where they were selling before. So now they're doing the same thing, buying at the top, and then they're just selling straight into them. And it just goes down again. It repeats. It's the relationship between the buyers and sellers. You got to ask yourself, why is there so much selling going up here? We drop down, but we come right back up to it. It's because they're good for money there. It's literally what this game is, especially with crypto. So with crypto, it follows stocks, and so with stocks, they place this idea, the technical analysis gets placed on the data. They're not using technical analysis as the data. The orders, it's a little bit different. It is more based on the orders, but you want to use the data first. You do kind of want to place the data first because then you're going to say, well, we know that we're good to move up in the markets off the data. So I know there's a bunch of people selling it right here and there's big volatility coming into the markets, very likely I'm going to be able to have the opportunity to come all the way back in V-shaped recovery near back to these orders. And I would say it did it. V-shaped straight to it right here. So the best way to learn this is to study it and just read it. Just for hours and hours, watch it, study it, learn it. Do not trade with this unless you have studied for a very long time and you've actually get a really good grasp of it and how it works and the ins and outs. The orders itself, these are the large orders right here. I talk about these a lot in my streams back when I did streams. I don't do them that often anymore. These orders are basically they are depth of market, and then the footprint with the footprint it makes it even better. But basically these orders, these are depth of market where you're seeing the pending orders on the book. So that's basically it. It's a long ass video I feel like. But yeah. Leave a like, comment if you need any assistance. I will leave a link to my Discord and we help anyone there for free.